It's Tennessee.Frank.
Hey guys, Tennessee.Frank here. So when is a 45 not a 45? Well, when it is a Glock 45 in 9mm. And all these guns have been safety checked. Here's an actual 45. See, that's been safety checked. And then here's the CZ-P07. That's safety checked. But yeah, finally got out, got the Glock 45. It'll be taking over home defense duty from the P07. Of course, 17 round. This is 15, but we do have 17 round mags for it. But yeah, it shot pretty well. I would say it didn't shoot as well as the P07 if you watch my video on it. This thing was cut in some really tight groups. And same thing for the Ronin. Ronin was cut in some really tight groups. But it did adequate. It's good for what it is. I mean, it's a decent gun. Real quick, we can just go ahead and take a look at some targets. Here's the first 17 out of the gun. So I did get the sights lined up good. I mean, it's hitting center. Worked out pretty well. 7 yards. Second, for some reason I pulled one. I don't understand why. I did everything the same. You can see it's pretty much cutting that gray right out of there. So yeah, it's shooting good. I mean, it's decent. 7 yards. And then I did back out to 10 yards to give it a try, just to see what would happen. It's still not too bad. I mean, that would easily, you know, take a heart shot. You could get a heart shot at 10 yards. So yeah, not too bad. But by comparison, I mean, I couldn't find the targets on the CZ. You can look them up in the video. But like, here's the Ronin at 7 yards. See this little group here? And then again, this was at 10 yards with the Ronin. So you can see these 1911s, they really do shoot well. That's something I've always liked about the 1911. The trigger on it is phenomenal. Just the way the grip feels, I love everything about that. But it shoots really, really well. But you can see on both my polymer guns, I do have the Talon rubberized grips. I love these Talon grips. They give me a really good feel. I don't like that plastic feel, but this rubbery feel, it's a lot grippier, if that's a word, but it's still not abrasive. And then of course I did get a new set of grips on the Ronin. I got the black and gray. I think it complements the frame and slide better. I think it looks a little nicer. Did put the Vickers Tactical Tango Down trigger, flat face trigger, with trigger bar in this one, just like I did the 43. And excess sights. They have a new sight out. It's the minimal or minimalist sight. You get a rear sight, front sight. You don't get the tools with it. You do get the Loctite though. But yeah, these sights are like 70 bucks on Amazon at the making of this video. So they're quite a bit cheaper. Quite a bit cheaper than the regular, like the F8s that I have on here. Now these F8s were $109 plus shipping. So yeah, I mean, they're a bit cheaper, but they're still good. You still get that front orange dot. Still get a good sight picture. I did pick up an outside waistband holster. It's a Bianchi. That's their Remedy. I think it's a model 57 or 58. But just a real simple outside waistband holster. Something to carry it in. Since it's going to be carried outside waistband, I'll reserve concealed carry to the 43X. But we can even check out some weights on these guns, just to give you a comparison of how much they each weigh. Before we do that, let's do a quick size comparison. Here's your standard Colt Commander lightweight, Ronin 425. You know, I got the 8-round magazine in it. We can kind of compare with the Glock. And you see, you know, overall length, everything, very similar as far as height. This beaver tail does kind of make this a little longer, but thickness-wise, your 1911 is going to be a little bit thinner. Glock's going to be a little thicker, and we can compare with the CZ. You know, your CZ, like again, it's got a little bit of a beaver tail here at the back. Overall, as far as length, slide-wise, about the same. This is a little bit shorter. I'd say this is more of a Glock 19 size. But if we toss the 17-round magazine in, so now we're equal magazine capacity, they're just pretty much same length. So 17 rounds with each gun is going to be about the same. Your CZ is going to be a little thicker, a little bit fatter. So you can see there it's a little bit fatter than the Glock. But I mean, because of the mechanism, you know, double single versus striker, it's going to have a little bit different controls in it. So, you know, thinnest, medium, thickest. Overall size-wise, they're all about the same. I mean, they're very, very close. We can go ahead now, let me break the scale out, and we will go ahead and weigh these guys. Okay, got my scale here. Got her set to ounces. We'll start with the 1911 since they're traditionally the heavier gun. And you can see we're getting 29.8586, just under 30 ounces. Which really isn't too bad for 45. You don't want a super lightweight 45. And we'll move to the CZ. And this does have kind of a chunky feel to it. I noticed last night, since I got the 17 here doing nightstand duty, this has a little chunkier feel to it. 28 1/3 ounces. If we drop that 17-round mag into it, you know, now we're at 28 3/4. It's almost 29 ounces. So this is not too far off from the 1911 as far as weight. And then we can toss the Glock on the scale. And you see we're coming in just a touch over 25 ounces. So out of the three, this is going to be your lighter weight gun. Going to be a little better for carry and what have you. Of course, here we have my new pair of guns, you know, my 43X and the larger 45. And you see that they're very close to looking identical. I mean, if I move the camera here, it's hard to tell which is which. They both have the forward cocking serrations. I have them both set up with the same sights. I got the same slide cover plate. Talon rubberized grips. Of course, this one's going to be 10 round. It doesn't have the ambi controls for your slide drop. This one, 17 rounds, and it does have the ambi control over here. But yeah, Vickers tactical triggers, both set up very, very similar. So between concealed carry and bedside gun, they're going to feel roughly the same. The sight picture is going to be the same. The trigger is going to feel the same. So this makes a really decent pair of pistols for someone who would like to get into a couple handguns, have one for around the house, or if you're like hiking or out and about and need more mag capacity, and then a smaller one for concealed carry. So your 43X and 45, that would be a good combination to have. I mean, it would come in real handy, especially when you set them up like this, where it's very similar. So, yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. And like I always say, either we stand up for our rights or we can sit by and watch them go away. Y'all have an awesome rest of the day. We'll talk to you later. TN.Frank out of here.